You get a text from a number you don't recognize. Discretion needed, $500 for 2 hours, no questions. You're broke. It's Tuesday. You say yes. A black car picks you up outside a coffee shop in downtown Chicago. No small talk. The driver doesn't look at you once. You arrive at a penthouse in the Gold Coast. Marble floors, paintings you've seen in museums. A woman in a gray blazer meets you at the elevator. She doesn't introduce herself. She hands you a tablet with a list on it. Email accounts, a Dropbox folder, a contact list. A series of photos stored in a private cloud. Delete all of it, she says, permanently. Leave no trace. You ask what it's for. She says, you're not paid to ask that. It takes you 90 minutes. You use a data shredding tool you learned from a YouTube video 3 years ago. When you're done, the woman checks your work with a laptop she keeps in a locked briefcase. She nods once. An envelope hits the table. Cash. Crisp. Counted. You walk back out into the city. The car is already gone. You don't think much about it until the next text comes. This time, it's a different city. Miami. A waterfront condo. The elevator requires a key card you're handed in a parking garage by a man who never speaks. The client isn't there, just another woman in another gray blazer. Different face, same eyes. Like she's seen things she's learned not to feel. The job is bigger now. Surveillance footage from a private security system, 14 days of it. A network of offshore storage servers. Correspondence between 3 people whose names you're told to forget the moment you read them. You erase it all. This time you're paid $2,000. This time they also hand you a phone, encrypted, preloaded. They tell you it's your work line now. You realize this wasn't a one-time thing. You realized you've been hired. You learn the name of the industry in a conversation you're not supposed to overhear. Memory cleaning. That's what they call it. Not hacking, not corporate espionage, not document destruction. Memory cleaning. The ultra-wealthy live complicated lives. Affairs, deals that bend the law past its breaking point, agreements made in rooms that don't exist, moments they can never afford to have surfaced. Your job is to make those moments disappear. Digitally, completely, without a trace of the person who did it. You meet your handler for the first time. His name is Marcus. He's 45, silver watch, quiet voice. He explains the structure. There are 6 people in your tier. You never meet them. You never know their names. You each specialize in something. You do digital erasure. Someone else handles physical destruction of devices. Someone else handles witnesses. That last one makes you pause. Marcus notices. Don't think about the other tiers, he says. Focus on yours. You do. The jobs become routine. A senator's aide in Washington. Photographs from a hotel room that can never be traced back to anyone. A tech billionaire in San Francisco. Financial threads connecting shell companies to something in Zurich that no regulator can ever follow. A media executive in London. 32 voice recordings that could end 3 careers. Maybe a government. You erase everything. You're good at it. Faster than anyone in the network, Marcus says. Your rate is now $8,000 per job. You've done 11 jobs in 4 months. You stop checking your bank account every day. You start checking it every week. The number gets comfortable, then it gets addictive. You move apartments twice, somewhere quieter each time. You stop telling people what you do, not because you're ashamed, because the story you've invented, IT security consultant, bores you, and you don't trust yourself not to slip when you're comfortable. You're learning to be uncomfortable as the default. That's the real job skill. Marcus calls you to a meeting. In person, unusually. A hotel in Geneva, 3rd floor, room 318. There's a man sitting by the window. Older, white shirt, no tie. The kind of wealth that doesn't need to perform itself. He looks at you like he already knows everything about you. He says one sentence. We have a situation that requires your direct presence. This has never happened before. Every job has been remote or sterile. You go in, erase, leave. Invisible. But this is different. A family. Old European money. A death that needs to be restructured in the historical record before the estate lawyers start pulling threads. Not a cover-up of a crime, a cover-up of a choice, the kind of choice that ruins dynasties. You spend 9 days in a villa outside Florence. You eat their food, sleep in their guest room, watch their grief from across marble dining tables. And every morning, you disappear another piece of their story. You're paid $40,000 when you leave. You feel nothing on the flight home. That should scare you. It doesn't. The network gets a breach. Not you, someone in another tier. You don't know what happened, you're not told, but suddenly every protocol tightens. New phones every 10 days, new drop locations, new verification sequences before every job, and a new rule. If you're ever approached by anyone outside the network asking about your work, government, journalist, rival party, you vanish within 24 hours. A new identity, a new city, a new life. They show you a folder with your contingency documents, new name, new history, new passport. You sit in a room in a building in a city you can't name and stare at a photograph of a person who is legally you but has never existed. Marcus says, "This is the price of what you know." You nod. But that night in the hotel room they've booked for you, you sit on the edge of the bed for a long time. You think about what you've deleted. 14 months of work, hundreds of files, conversations, photos, transactions. You know none of it, but you've touched all of it. You are a ghost who handles the ghosts of other people's worst moments. The money is extraordinary. The isolation is becoming something else. You make a mistake. Small, almost nothing. A timestamp you failed to scrub from a metadata field on a video file. 6 digits buried inside a document no one should ever see again. But someone sees it. You don't know who. You never find out. What you find out is that Marcus calls you at 3 a.m. and tells you to leave wherever you are immediately. You're in a rented apartment in Amsterdam. You leave in 11 minutes. Backpack, hard drive, contingency passport. You don't sleep for 2 days. When it's resolved, Marcus says it's resolved, whatever that means, you're set up in a new city with a new number and a week's gap between you and your next job. You sit in a kitchen in Lisbon that doesn't belong to you, and you drink coffee that tastes like nothing. And you open your laptop, and you look at the contingency folder with the new name. And you think, how many times can you erase someone before you start disappearing yourself? The job comes in like the others. A client, high priority, European old money again, a private island off the coast of Croatia. Except this time, the briefing is different. The file they send contains a name. A journalist, female, early 30s. She's been investigating financial flows from a real estate trust in Monaco. She has documents, interviews, a story that's 3 weeks from publication. Your job is to erase everything she's collected before it reaches an editor. You sit with that for a long time. This is not a hotel room affair. This is not a CEO's embarrassing texts. This is someone's life work. Someone who doesn't know you exist. Someone who is trying to tell the truth. You open the encrypted phone. You stare at Marcus's contact icon. You've never refused a job before. You've never been asked to do something like this. Or have you? You think about the voice recordings in London, the financial threads in San Francisco, the death restructured in Florence. You think, what if all of that was this? What if the whole time you thought you were cleaning up messes, you were covering up crimes? What if there's no difference? You don't call Marcus. You sit in the Lisbon kitchen for 6 hours. Then you do something you were explicitly never told to do. You make a copy. Not the journalist's files. You don't have those yet. Your own records. Every job you can reconstruct. Dates, locations, types of data erased, general descriptions, nothing specific enough to destroy anyone innocent, but enough. A trail that leads somewhere real. You hide it in a place that isn't digital. A small storage unit in a city on the other side of the world, accessed by a key that lives in a book you mail to your sister with no return address and no explanation. It's not evidence, not yet, but it's something. Insurance. Leverage. Maybe guilt. Then you call Marcus and say yes to the job.
You fly to Croatia. You enter the system. You find the journalist's files. And you sit there, inside of all of it, with the cursor blinking. You delete half the files, enough to satisfy the job parameters on paper. The core of her investigation, the documents that name names, the financial architecture, the chain from Monaco to the shell companies to the people who own them. You move somewhere else. An anonymous server. A dead drop she'll never know to find, unless someone tells her. You finish the job. You send Marcus the confirmation. He wires the payment. $55,000. Your biggest single job. You're sitting in a cafe when the money lands. You order another coffee. You look at the phone number you copied from her leaked files before you rearranged everything. You don't call it. Not today. You close your laptop.